Your car now requires a terms of service agreement. Just sit with that for a second. A 2-ton machine hurtling down the highway at 70 miles per hour needs you to accept cookies before you can adjust the mirror. Somewhere along the way, the automobile industry looked at a smartphone and said, "Yeah, but bigger." And at 60 miles per hour, the dashboard used to have buttons, physical, tactile, satisfying buttons. You could reach over without looking, twist the climate knob, and feel the cold air hit your face. Done. A quarter second. Now that same action requires you to wake up a 17-inch touchscreen, swipe past the home screen, tap climate, scroll to windshield, select defrost, and confirm that yes, you really do want to see out of your own car. 6 steps. The ice on your windshield has opinions about your reaction time. And the menu doesn't care. Mazda actually studied this. They removed their touchscreen in certain models because the data showed drivers were swerving when they tried to use it. Swerving. The screen designed to improve the driving experience was actively making driving worse. Mazda put a physical dial back, and the automotive press treated them like they'd just rediscovered fire. A car company earned praise for letting you operate a car without taking your eyes off the road. That's where we are. But the touchscreen was never really about the driver experience. Screens are cheaper than buttons. A single display replaces 40 physical switches, each of which requires its own wiring harness, its own mounting hardware, its own quality control testing. One screen, one supplier. Massive savings per unit. The interface got worse for you because it got cheaper for them, and they marketed it as innovation. The screens themselves have a relationship with temperature that can only be described as adversarial. Park your car in Phoenix for 20 minutes during summer. Come back. The screen is either frozen, lagging so badly that each tap registers 3 seconds late, or displaying a helpful message about operating temperature ranges. Meanwhile, the car is 140 degrees inside, and you can't turn on the air conditioning because the air conditioning lives inside the screen that just told you it's too hot to function. That's a design philosophy that could only survive in a climate-controlled boardroom in San Francisco. Winter is worse. Capacitive touchscreens don't register gloved fingers. So you're in Minnesota, it's -15, and your choices are: remove your gloves to adjust the heat, buy special capacitive gloves, or just accept that you'll be cold. In 1997, you turned a knob with gloves while eating a sandwich. The car didn't care. The car respected your autonomy as a human being who sometimes has cold hands. And then there are the updates. Over-the-air software updates sounded futuristic. Your car improves while you sleep. Except the improvement part turned out to be optional. Tesla pushed an update in 2022 that removed the ability to adjust the steering wheel and mirrors from the easy access menu. Owners woke up, and a feature they'd paid for had been rearranged into a sub-menu. Another update changed how the windshield wipers worked. On a car that costs as much as a small house, the wipers, a feature that has worked reliably since 1903, now needed a software patch to function correctly. The wipers, the most mechanically simple system on the vehicle, needed a download. BMW tried to charge a monthly subscription for heated seats. The hardware was already installed in the car. The wires were there, the heating elements were there. You owned them. They just wanted $8 a month to let electrons flow through equipment you'd already bought. The backlash was loud enough that they backed off in some markets. But the instinct revealed everything about where this is heading. Every feature in your car is a potential revenue stream. The seat warmers are a service. The acceleration is a tier. The glove box is a freemium model waiting to happen. GM removed Apple CarPlay and Android Auto from their newer electric vehicles. The official reason was a better integrated experience. The actual reason was that CarPlay let you use Google Maps and Spotify without touching GM's built-in system, which means GM couldn't collect your driving data and sell it to advertisers. Your car is now an advertising platform that occasionally provides transportation. GM's own data marketplace sells location information, driving behavior, and trip patterns to third-party brokers. You paid $50,000 for a car that pays them by watching you drive it. The cult dynamics around certain brands deserve their own anthropology textbook. Tesla owners don't just drive a car. They've joined a movement. A software update drops, and adults post reaction videos of themselves sitting in a driveway, narrating a new animation on their dashboard like it's a religious experience. Oh my God, the turn signal menu has been reorganized. This is a person who spent $90,000 and is now grateful that the company fixed something that should have worked at delivery. The fandom has reached a point where pointing out that the panel gaps on a Model Y could fit a pencil is treated as a personal attack on someone's identity. You bought a car. The car has gaps. These two facts can coexist without a flame war. The Cybertruck arrived and somehow made all of this worse. A vehicle marketed as the toughest truck on the road, and early owners discovered that the stainless steel body stained when it rained. Rain? Water falling from the sky, an event that has occurred on this planet for roughly 4 billion years, was apparently an edge case the engineering team hadn't fully resolved. Owners were told to apply ceramic coating to a truck that was advertised towing rockets and surviving bullets. It can survive a bullet, but it surrenders to a Tuesday afternoon drizzle. The accelerator pedal on early Cybertrucks had a trim piece that could come loose and wedge against the floor, causing unintended acceleration. A physical defect on a vehicle where physical controls were supposedly the weakness that screens were meant to replace. The recall covered more than 3,000 trucks. The fix was a rivet or adhesive to keep the pad in place. The truck of the future was repaired with a technique from the Bronze Age, and it still needed a software update for the wipers. Somewhere in this mess, a genuine safety question keeps getting buried under the hype cycle. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has opened investigations into multiple incidents where touchscreen failures left drivers without access to critical functions. Backup cameras, turn signals, defogging. These used to be hardwired systems that worked when you turned the key. Now they're apps. Apps crash. Your phone crashes, and you miss a text. Your car crashes, and you miss a guardrail. The failure modes are fundamentally different, and the regulatory framework hasn't caught up because the cars got smart faster than the laws did. European regulators started pushing back. Euro NCAP, the safety rating body, announced that starting in 2026, cars would lose safety rating points if basic functions like turn signals, hazard lights, and wipers weren't operable through physical controls. The industry responded with the enthusiasm of a teenager told to clean their room. Some manufacturers are adding a few token buttons back. Others are lobbying to weaken the requirement. The market spoke, and the market said, "We'd like to not die because the infotainment system is buffering." The irony that holds this whole era together is that cars used to be the symbol of independence. Open road, your hands on the wheel, you and the machine working together. Now the machine needs a Wi-Fi connection to check its own tire pressure. It uploads your location to a server farm in Virginia. It requires terms of service that no human has ever read, buried in which is permission to collect biometric data, cabin camera footage, and voice recordings. Your car knows where you go, how fast you drive, how hard you brake, and what you say while doing it. And every 6 months, the company that sold it to you can change what it does. Remotely, while you sleep, without asking. The original Ford Model T had one feature: it moved. You turned a crank, the engine caught, and you drove. If something broke, a person with a wrench could fix it in a field. There was no subscription tier. There was no user agreement. The car did exactly one thing, and it did it until the wheels fell off. Now we have vehicles with more computing power than the Apollo missions, and half of that processing power is dedicated to rendering an animated fireplace on the dashboard while you sit in traffic. The other half is figuring out how to charge you monthly for the privilege of opening your own trunk faster. Your grandfather's truck had a window crank. It worked in the heat, it worked in the cold. It worked without a server, and it never ever needed a software patch to operate the wipers.